Hello, hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brianne and this is Bree's Knits. So it's been a while since I have done a podcast. It's been a couple of months. The last you saw me, I did a video about getting my colors analyzed. But I figured I might as well just bring a podcast to you now. I've been feeling like I want to share what's been going on. That way I'm not not behind, but behind. So I'll just jump right into it because I'm doing this while the baby is napping. So fun. So my first finished object, I need to weave in the ends on one of my sleeves, but I'm too lazy to do that right now. It is my Daft Days cardigan. Please clap. I've been working on this, it feels like, for freaking ever. It is a little tight around the arms. I know that in the pattern, Rebecca does say it is supposed to be a little tight. She said some people noticed that they had to do a full needle size bigger than doing the rest of the body. However, so she did it with 3.75, I believe, for the body. My gauge, in order to reach her gauge, I needed to go up to 5mm. I did use DK, and the stripes are all fingering right held double. They are all different sizes, so maybe that's where I messed up, because I have noticed now with more knitting that some fingering weights held double almost feel more sport weight than DK weight. I was thinking most recently about doing a cardigan with fingering held double, and it just feels more like a sport weight than DK weight. But anyway, so it's a little tight on the arms. Actually, right now I feel pretty okay. I've worn it a few times to try to stretch it out, but also because of the armpit thing. I thought I was fine when I was knitting it, but as you can see, the shoulder or the sleeves are a little short, but it's watch length almost for me, because I don't put my watch right here. I have it right here. So, but yeah, you see the ends. I've worn it a few times out and about, and I just tend to tuck those in. Other than the sleeves, I think it's pretty good to go. I've worn it a few times indoors, only when I've had my curtains drawn, because it's just the way my window faces. It gets way too hot in here, even with the curtains drawn. So I'll stand up and show you guys. Doop, boop, boop. I feel like this really emphasizes how wide my arms are, and it just makes me want to work out. But that's about it. I do like the colors of the stripes. I feel like the color combination's a dream. It feels very vintage in a grandma way, and I kind of like that. And it feels very lived in, which I love the look of lived in things. When I was younger and wanting to get Converse and stuff, I feel like Converse looked their best when they were well worn and lived in. So that's kind of how this sweater feels, but I just made it myself. So, I mean, other than that, I think the first couple times I wore it, it did leave marks on the inside of my arm, but now I've stretched it out a little bit. I've had it mold to my body. It feels pretty good now. So, finally, I'm done with my cardigan. So I can take that off now because I'm going to get very warm very quickly. But that means I have to pull on the edge of the edge of the sleeve sometimes. But the only thing I do think kind of sucks is that, and I've mentioned it in my other podcast before, and some people are you don't really notice it, but I notice it, and that's the part that sucks the most. It's just the orange really, it bled into the white stripe a bit, and not cool, but you know what, even with like my gauge swatch too, I didn't notice that. So that's kind of the part that sucks, I think, the most, is that I didn't really see this coming, because I swatched and blocked my swatch, and it didn't happen like this. So I'm a little sad about that, but I'm like trying to button this up. But you know what? C'est la vie. And it's just for me, so I think that's fine. Next finished object is my tiny seashell shawl. I made myself one. It is made with the Cashmere Cavern Sock by Explore Knits and Fibers, and this is Giant's Causeway. The pattern is by Sari Norland. Just a little shawl. I've worn it. It's on my Instagram, and I've worn it with a what do you call it? With a like strapless dress, and I just like tucked it in and like pinned it to give it like very like Cher in that interview, like "Mom, I am the rich man," you know, kind of vibe, just off the shoulder kind of thing. So I really like the shawl. I think it's very easy to work up. I think it lends itself really well to variegated yarn. I was really worried about it, but I think it lended itself really well. I did mess up the chart. So initially, after this first like little V, can't really tell, you're supposed to go straight into these like the seashell part. But I was looking at the wrong chart and I just kept going. So technically you could say I made a modification. But yeah, I really love it. The only thing is, after even blocking like this, the point kind of like rolls up a little bit, but it's very nice. It's very like, feels very like luxe, as it should, because it's cashmere, but it's really nice. I love it. I haven't really been able to wear it much because I live in Southern California and it's very hot. In case I haven't said that before. I feel like I've definitely have said it a ton of times, which is why I'm saying it sarcastically now. Anyway, yeah, so it's really nice. It's really comfortable. I might this weekend might be going to, there's a small company that puts on Shakespeare plays with like a bit of a twist, and might be going to that, and it's in the park, and it's by the Griffith Observatory, which if you've been to LA or coming to LA, like that's a really popular spot to go visit. The observatory is very nice to look at the big telescope, and it's at the park, so it gets a little chilly at night, so I might bring this along with me. Next finished object, I need to wash them, but I have finished a pair of socks for myself. So this is my first pair of knitted socks. It is the All the Frills sock by Summerly Fibers. Summerly Knits, not Fibers. Sorry, Summerly Knits. The yarn, however, is Sorella Yarn Co. It is in Bistro in their Stellina sock base. I've worn it once. Maybe that's why I wanted to show you guys like how it wore. I wore it with some Doc Martens and it looks fine. I mean, there's nothing really to show here. It's like, it looks like it gathered up a lot of hair, but I do have a lot of cats and I tend to be barefoot or in socks around the house. So the only thing I will say is that in the pattern, Summer does mention like after the frill part to knit tightly, and I thought I knit pretty tightly, but when I put these on, it felt like just really loose and I didn't like that, so I just added an elastic band there. And I didn't do that to this one because I didn't feel like it needed it, but after wear I might. But yeah, so these are my finished socks for myself, so very happy about that. I did have a summer knit in progress that was going to be a whip, but I've decided to stop. and I'm just not going to work on it anymore. It was the camisole number 5. I kind of knew it was a bit of a long shot. I was working on it with a plant-based fiber, so it was linen. It was the Sun is Garden line or tin line. So I was working on it with a not recommended yarn, but I did meet gauge, so I thought I was going to be fine. I was okay with how like opened it looked. That wasn't a big deal to me. But then I got to doing the neck part. I was starting to work on the back. And like when I tried it on, it was just like way too tight. And I was like, you know what? It's probably because I didn't use the recommended yarn. And if I want to try this again, I'll probably do a merino cotton or merino silk blend. But right now I'm kind of like put off by summer knits. Although I did watch Carson's new video, and I was like, I did really like making up the My Little Secret Crop by Jessie May. So I'm like, maybe, because she's using a linen yarn too. So I'm like, maybe, or I'll just hold on to it. I think too, I didn't really like working with the linen. It was okay, but I think I prefer merino silk blends as well as, yeah, or like merino blends with summer yarns. I think I prefer that than the linen. The linen's just a little too rough. So I kind of just set that aside for now. It did not bring me joy, so we're just putting it away. So for the new whip that I have, I only have one on the needles right now. The thing is too, recently I have noticed transitioning into being a toddler mom is how crazy busy you are with just like running after a little child who wants to explore everything, but like we also have to keep them safe and also feed them and also clean up after them, and it's really intense. So I've been really trying really hard to work on my husband's Moby sweater. I think I restarted it because I was partway through the back, but then I lost my place in the chart because it had been a while. And I was like, you know what? I need to redo this. But again, it's just really hard. When my husband gets home, like he'll take over. But by then I'm like super tired, super exhausted. So I've decided that I might be mostly working on socks. We always need socks, so why not? And my husband really likes his other pair that I made him earlier this year, and he really wanted another pair. He's very much like, they're so nice, I don't want to wear them, which is silly because I'm like, I made them so you can wear them, just wear them. But he's like, but I don't know when I'm going to get my other pair. And it's like, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So my husband's very knit worthy, so I'm going to make him another pair of socks. I actually showed him like different patterns of socks, but he really wanted the same pattern, which is the Hearth socks by Lindsay Fowler. So it's almost like a vanilla sock, but you add like a little bit of texture in there with a knit purl row. I think it's called the Andalusian stitch. But I'm almost done with the first sock. Well, not really. My husband's got a big foot, so it's a US 11, 12, which is like a Euro 45. So we've got a bit of a ways to go. But the yarn is Explore Knits and Fibers Cashmere Cavern Sock, and this is still from the Ireland collection. This is Emerald Isle. So I actually let him choose between this one and I have My Goodness to My Guinness. So I was like, okay, you can choose between these two, and whichever one he didn't choose, I was going to use the other one for my stepdad for a Christmas gift for some socks. And my husband chose the Emerald Isle because he said he already had brown socks and he feels like this might be more fun, and he really likes how it's working up. which is always good to hear. It does feel like with the alternating knit purl stitches, it feels like you got like some hills going, and it just feels very Irish. So it's coming out really nicely, and I do really enjoy working with this yarn. I think if I had the chance to get more Explore Knits and Fibers in this yarn base, I will, because it just feels so nice to work up with. Like, I think in comparison to the linen fiber, I'm like, this is where it's at. But yeah, that's about it. I really want to work through that Moby sweater. I did have the thought for a second, because I was like, you know what, maybe like everything's taking me forever because I'm mostly working on fingering weight projects, and like maybe I shouldn't get so discouraged. Like, everything I've been making has been on like less than 4mm needles, so maybe like that's why everything's taking so long. And I know knitting is such a slow art form anyway, but it just feels like, because I'm in such a new phase in my life, I can't make as much as I want, which honestly like is kind of discouraging. So I'm like not watching as many videos, because I feel honestly, it's like the opposite. Like, I feel more discouraged. But I'll watch like a few people still here and there, because I'm like, oh, like I feel like here it's more like lining up with like my not realistic expectations, but goals. So because I can't knit as quickly anymore, I have a lot more going on. It's just too busy around here, which is fine. Like socks, like this sock, I have worked on this for a week already, so it's not like. And I think even my shorty socks, like these are considered shorties. They're just above the ankle, and these took me about a couple weeks. It was like a week each sock. So that's how slowly we're working here. And I know it's fine, but like at the same time, I don't know. It's just me, really. Like, I don't really have as much to show, so it feels like I'm doing less, but also I am doing a lot right now. Besides raising a little curious mind. Just a little bit of an update before I get into acquisitions. If you're not interested in this part, totally fine. I understand. I'll see you next time, whenever that is. But I am going to be giving a bit of a life update and something that doesn't really have to do with knitting anymore. And then we're going to jump into acquisitions. So before my car crash, which some of you guys, if you follow me on Instagram, or even I did mention it, I think, in my last podcast, I started reading again, and I haven't read in a very long time. And when I was younger, I used to want to write as like a living. And I think after my dad passed when I was 18, after my dad passed, it just felt like that passion and that desire really passed with him. And but rereading, or not rereading, but reading again has really ignited that like feeling of passion for words. And I have decided to start writing again. And I did not decide to start small. I am working on a novel. I have a few novel ideas. I've made some outlines. I actually have been working on, when I'm not knitting, I have like my writing days set up already. I am working on, on my novel. So I'm trying to, at minimum, do 2 days a week of writing for at least a couple of hours, with a goal of 1,500 words each time I'm writing. And then sometimes I'll squeeze in a third. So my goal for August was 15,500 words. There you go. But right now I'm currently at 15,658 words. So yay for me. So I'm really grateful for my husband, who's constantly supporting my dreams. And now I can, like, when he gets home on the days that I want to write, he just fully takes over, and I go ahead and lock myself in and just write. So that way I can get moving on it. So I guess I'm not, like, it's unfair for me to say that I'm not doing anything and I'm not productive, because I definitely am. I am working on my passion. So I don't really know how to describe it yet, because I'm already thinking about ways to edit it to make it better. So I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I participated in Camp NaNoWriMo in July, and my goal was really just to get 3,000 words in, but I finished with 6,000, and I think I might do NaNoWriMo. I don't know. We'll see. But the goal for this novel will be 75,000 words. So my goal for sure is to get it done this year, and then to have a second draft. No, to edit it and go through it, potentially have a second draft by March next year. So I'm really excited about that, but that makes me feel that plus baby as just a lot going on. So I don't know how soon I can get another video out. But I do like sharing with you guys, and I still like being a part of this community. But if you guys are more interested in like book stuff, I do have another Instagram. I probably shouldn't feel the need to like make things super niche, but I don't know. I kind of like keeping them separate. So I have another Instagram called Bookish Brie with 2 underscores underneath after the Brie. And I have my knitting too, but I only have YouTube for this one because that would be way too much. That'd be way too hectic. And yeah, that's really it. I have a 1-year-old now. He walks. He waddles, actually, and waddles really fast sometimes. And he's so cute, and I love him so much. But it is a lot. So that plus writing is just means like things are going to be going a little bit slower now. I do still want to do some like the mood boards, but it'll probably be mostly socks, and maybe like instead of a ton of sweaters a year, I might literally only make like 2 or 4. We'll see. I'm thinking about like focusing now on the future for Christmas. So I do have a lot of like Aran weight cotton yarn that I might just make into market bags, because I don't really have plans for them. But I think market bags are always needed. And I made one for one of my sister-in-laws, and I noticed her have it in her purse recently, and I was like, that's so cute. So and she like gardens and plants. She has like passion fruit and tomatoes and all this stuff. It's like amazing. So I was like, these can be your, I'm so sorry. I'm like, okay, I'm going to try not to clear my throat anymore, but it's really cute because I was like, oh, this can be your harvest bag. And she just carries it around with her. So really cute. Anyway, I'm going to go into acquisitions before the baby wakes up. Actually, I realized I'm eyeing one right now, and I will come back and bring it over. So along with some Christmas gifts, I'm thinking about doing some socks for some people. Not everybody will get a pair of socks, but just some people. So I did buy a few of the Summerly Knits designs, and I have purchased some sock yarn because I noticed a lot of my yarn already had projects attached to them, or they're going to be held double to make a DK weight. So that's just where we're at right now. Aside from like the bags, the market bags honestly should probably only take maybe a week each now with the baby. Usually it should only take like 2 days, but I feel like with lace weight, I really need to like focus. So I would really only be able to do that when my husband's around, because I won't be able to. He's so cute. My baby will come up and like try to grab the yarn too and like put it around him and like feel it, and it's like really cute, but then it gets really tangled, and then I may or may not lose some stitches. So just not conducive to toddler knitting. So I'm trying to get some socks done. Anyway, so I did get my Paisley knits in. I did put 2 of them away, so maybe I'll show you a picture here of my full order purchase. But I got the Coastal sock in Zycanthos. This one is 85% superwash merino and 15% nylon. It's really adorable. Adorable. This is my first Paisley knits purchase. I forgot. I think I was influenced by Knit California. Yes, I was, to follow Paisley Knits. And then she came out with her the collection, and I was like, yes, I'm convinced. The other color I got was Zesty Lime, I think. And I think it was the merino silk one. And then the other one I got was the Book Club, which was the Beach Read. And it's the sock base. I think it's a Coastal sock as well. I am also really into, like, Summerlee came out with her Colorwork Cuff Club, and I may or may not purchased right in, because I do have a lot of like stash sock yarn, or like scrap sock yarn, or some sock yarn that I was given as a gift and I didn't know what to do with it, but now I definitely have something to do with it. And I'm really excited to work on it. She came out in August with a couple of designs. So it was really like a Scandi design, and then the other one was like a grandma blanket, like the granny square blanket. There you go. And I have some bright colors, but not too many. So I really wanted to get some. Summer has really been, I don't know, I feel really inspired by her socks, which is like really crazy. I never thought I'd say I feel inspired by socks, but I do. I've been feeling the pull more towards socks. It might just be because of the season of life I'm in again, but like, I've just been feeling that really strong tug towards socks right now. And it feels really great, because it feels like I can bring out all these colors that I never would have thought to like actually use. Like when I look at Summer's like colors that she puts together, I'm like, wow, I would have never thought to put those 2 together, or those 3 or 4 or whatever. But when I see it in her socks worked up, I'm like, wow, like I'm really inspired to like wear more colorful socks, like just fun and lively socks, and be that weirdo with really bright and colorful socks. But I don't know. I just like that idea of having really colorful socks. Like I bought some yarn from the California Fiber Festival last year. It's coming again this year, and I'm really excited. I have a really bright blue and an orange, and I had no idea what to do with them, but now I'm going to put them together as a gift for my grandma. She's very knit worthy, and it's going to be that Scandi design, and maybe I'll make myself an alternating one with an orange. Well, yeah, I think so, with the orange and the blue. I think that would look really cute. But I'm so excited. So I bought some more yarn for socks, and specifically with the Colorwork Cuff Club sock in mind. Anyway, so I went to there's this store in the Inland Empire. If you're in the Inland Empire, it's in the Redlands. And they actually were at the California Fiber Festival last year. They will likely be there again this year. I don't see why they wouldn't be. But they are called the Hands-On Knitting Center. They hold a lot of like Barocco, a lot of what's that one called? Manos de Uruguay, for sure. There is another one. I can't remember. I think it's just Barocco. Like, just like that classic yarn, and a lot of like, I can't even remember the name. Like a lot of classic cottons and stuff. But I did pick out a few Barocco vintage sock yarns. I've been looking at like Knitpic's website every day to see if they have any clearance. I did miss the big one But I was looking to see if they have any clearance on Stroll or sales, and they haven't. And I've been looking at Wool Warehouse for the drops, not Fable, the wool sock one. But I know it's cheap already, but I just would like a better deal. Anyway, so I got Barocco vintage sock in a few colors actually. So this one, it's just a color number. It's 12026. It's like an almondy heather color. This one is 12053, and it's like a chocolate brown. It's slightly heathered. So the makeup of the vintage sock is 52% acrylic, 40% wool, and 8% nylon, and there is 437 yards. Sorry, I thought I heard the baby cry. Anyway, I'm trying to do this quickly. I also got this color. It's like a raspberry pink, and I love, this was the last one there, and I was like, well, whoop, you're coming home with me. I could definitely see like these two together, or you know how I said I was going to make my grandma the blue and orange socks. So the blue actually has a pretty good yardage amount. I think it's like 437 as well. And my grandma has like tiny feet, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to have extra blue left over. And Hip Knit Hooray has a her wavy sweater, and it's a very bright blue with brown, and I might do that color combination because I loved that color combination when she showed it. So I might do that with this instead actually. So these two might be together, but honestly, who knows? We'll see. And I got these 3 minis. They're from a dyer called Emma's Yarn. Crazy beautiful colors. That's what it says. These are practically perfect smalls. This one is, they're all 81 yards, and it's just add salt. So this one is it kind of looks like my Zesty Lime from Paisley Knits. This one is called Zuni, and this one is called Aloha. It's a cute coral orange pink. I don't know why. Recently I've been drawn to these colors. So honestly, I think like this would look really cute in the granny square sock. Come on. Okay, now I hear the baby crying. But that was the end of my acquisitions, and I think that's it for this video. So perfect timing. I will see you guys next time. When that is, I have no idea, but I will see you next time. Wish me luck. Okay, bye.